Hi everyone, Highlander here. Welcome to my Diablo 3 Market Watch series methodology video, which I hope is going to become a really staple video on my channel that people will refer to because they love my Market Watch series and they want to know what I'm doing. So this video is an effort to, one, let you guys know what I am doing, why I'm doing it and what I hope to get out of it. I'm also going to tell you what I'm going to be tracking on the market, what my methodology is going to be, so that when you see things later on you actually know how it is I come to those numbers and that I'm not just plucking them out of the air. And I'm also looking for feedback from you guys, so please do jump into the comment section. But first up, what am I doing? Well, every week I'm going to be making a short video where I explain what's happened in the market, insofar as anyone can actually explain what's happening in a Diablo 3 market. We have two main markets really. We have the gold auction house and we also have the real money auction house, and I'm going to be focusing on the US dollar real money auction house because that's what most people are interested in and that's what I trade on. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. Going to be coming out every week, and I'll also discuss anything that looks like a key change there. So for example, if a patch looks like it's influenced something, or if I've heard about a big movement in a key stat that I'm not actually currently tracking. So I'll be discussing those things as well. Now, what exactly am I going to track? Well, there's some that are easy and some that aren't. So I'm going to be tracking, one, the relative price of gold to US dollars. That's going to be probably one of the core things to measure, but that's not out at the time of filming, but I will be doing that as soon as it becomes available. I'm also going to be looking at terms of secrets, just being something that's very stable, very standard, very simple to measure, gold and US dollars of course. I'm going to be measuring all the Inferno crafting materials and showing them up on a graph relative to each other as well, both in gold and US dollars. I'm going to be measuring gems, and gems might seem a little bit pointless, and I'm inclined to think it might turn out to be pointless because gems are really going to be a function of their crafting cost more than anything else, but we'll see. Who knows? So I'm going to be measuring gems, and I'm going to be measuring them at two levels, at the flawless square level because that's the highest one you can pick up, and the radiant star level because that's the biggest and the best. I'm going to be just averaging out across the four different types, and if I see a particular change then I might mention it in the video, like if topazes have exploded this week then I might mention that. But apart from that, I'm really just going to be looking at the averages, and I don't plan to spend a lot of time on gems. Items as well. And items is the trickiest part out of all of this, because how the hell do you standardize items? Well, I've been thinking about it, and one way is for DPS. Straight narrow DPS, and that tends to be somewhat measurable because you can have a magic item that purely just contributes to DPS yet is still valuable, will still be highly traded, and people are actually interested in. So my plan is to measure DPS at the 1100 range for a one-hand weapon and the 1300 range for a two-hand weapon. These ranges might change over time, it depends on how the marketplace grows, but that's what I'm looking at the moment. So essentially I'm going to be looking at the lowest three buyout prices available under each of those that hit the required level. So to explain that a little bit further, for a one-handed weapon, I'm going to pretty much search the cheapest one-handed weapon that gives you 1100 DPS I can, and I'm going to enter the four lowest amounts that I could buy out one of those for into my spreadsheet. I'm going to ignore the very cheapest one because I'm just going to consider that an anomaly. Somebody's an idiot or trying to really price something to sell very quickly, and use those bottom second through fourth ones to create an average price, and I will call that the price for that item in that given week. Now we'll see how this goes. This might just be too variable to be even worth tracking. However, in what I've been watching in terms of DPS based weapons, I've actually found that it is relatively stable, certainly on the real money auction house, and it is worth tracking. You can really see the gradual decline of these things, at least on the real money auction house. It's very defined. So I think it's going to be a stat worth tracking. And because you can achieve this valuable stat and highly traded stat with just magical items, that is with two stats, then they should be always pretty comparable in that respect. When it's something that's measurable and usually attained on rares, then it's a little bit trickier because rares always have these confounding items. They're always going to have extra stats that just confuse things. So I'm going to be trying to do that with DPS weapons. I've been looking at other items that I can manage that on, and it's hard to find something that I think will really be of value to players and not, rubbish kind of items. So I was thinking a maximum magic find amulet with some gold find as well. That would be typically something that would be, fairly reasonably valuable. I'm not sure the level of gold find or if I'm going to include that at all. I'm going to just test that out over the first couple of weeks. But that's definitely something I'm going to be looking to track. And the beautiful thing about that is it doesn't come in small increments. You either have 39% magic find or 40% magic find, as opposed to something like life on hit where you can have 200, 201, 202 and the increments are incredibly small. So that's something I'm looking to measure there. I'm really looking for input on items, guys, but we're really looking for something that is easily trackable, easily rankable. So preferably something like DPS is obviously the ideal version, but something where it's just easy for me to search it, easy for me to find it, and easy to compare things so that we've actually got stats that actually mean something, and something that's across all classes as well. Just because it'll create a high volume of trade and that'll reduce the volatility. So that's what we're looking for there. All I hope to achieve from this is to provide you guys with something you find interesting, provide me with some stats that I can use to help manipulate or benefit from and profit from, but really just to identify some correlations and really just grow the community knowledge on this. But again, really looking for your feedback. Let me know if you think this is going to be cool. Let me know if you think this is going to be useful, something you'd like to see. What is there that you would like to see measured? What do you think I could be doing better? I'll go through a couple of examples where I've just plugged in some random numbers because I haven't been tracking as of yet. But if you take a look, I've got one table here, and it's just got some dates over the last month when I've been measuring, and the last month that I've made up, and it is including a change in price for all the different types of Inferno crafting materials, and also the percentage change in there. So the percentage change is what I'll announce in my video, as well as the numerical amount of the numerical value at present, but I'll also be showing you this chart, and this chart will show the dollar value as well as the gold value. Now, what I'm really interested to see is the correlation between gold value and US dollar value, and also once we see how they're trading, we might be able to add some interesting stuff as well, like for example adding in an overlay for the change in gold versus US dollar price as well. For example, if gold's become less valuable, then in order to make this table more meaningful, I might actually feed that back in so we can see the change, or try and isolate just the change in price of that particular item, as opposed to through the confounding element of having the gold price in there as well. So that's something that I'm going to be trying to do. Now, if we take a look at terms of secrets, that's much simpler, being a single item, and you can see very clearly that I've got the gold price and then I've got the US dollar price as well. So that's something that's fairly clear. We'll see again, based on your feedback, whether I include all the crafting materials all on one table or not. I think that's interesting to see how they compare to each other. But again, the prices might just be so far apart. For example, our fiery brimstone versus iridescent tears at the moment. Trying to put them on the same table might just show no meaning for iridescent tears, because there might be no point in tracking them as well. We'll see how that goes. But I'm trying to be mindful of future patches as well and what Blizzard might do to us. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Really appreciate your time. Can't wait for your feedback. I can't wait to get this out to you. So until then, best of luck.
Moo.